Good evening, everyone. It has been a good, long conference and first time virtual. And I thank AIOS for giving me this opportunity to be present in this conference. And this is the last session. I'll be talking on introduction to chorioretinectomies. So chorioretinectomies were first introduced by Zygmunt Norvik when he did a therapeutic chorioretinectomy in 1987. But as a prophylactic mode of preventing the PVR, post-traumatic PVR in patients, it was used by Ferenc Kuhn in 2004. What is chorioretinectomy? Where is chorioretinectomy done? Is in deep impact ocular trauma, where we have incarceration of the vitreous or we have a penetration of the choroid, and it is supposed to reduce the RPE proliferation, the fibrous ingrowth, and PVR from the wound side. It can, as I mentioned earlier, it can be done as a prophylactic or a therapeutic procedure. So what is the method? It's a triamcinolone assisted vitrectomy is done with or without base shaving. Then a deep 100% diathermy burns are given around the incarceration site. And then the incarcerated retinal tissue is removed with underlying choroid to the level of bare sclera. 1 to 2 rows of prophylactic laser are done around the wound site, and any bleeding which is happening is controlled by diathermy or by increasing the infusion pressure. So this is to understand the concept of chorioretinectomy. I'll just present this case of a 28 years old male who had a double perforating injury in the right eye with end of. You see here I'm cleaning the lens and the exudates in the anterior chamber. And once the AC is cleaned, this exit wound was, this entry wound was sutured. And after that, vitrectomy was done. All the vitreous hemorrhage and the exudates were removed. And you see that there is an exit wound along the inferior temporal vessel here. At this moment of time, I did not touch it. It was a little bit of necrotic retina. And what you see later on, 2 months post-operatively, although the media view was clear and ophthalmitis was controlled, but there was a thick fibrous growth from the exit wound extending to the fovea. And this usually happens in these type of deep impact trauma patients. And if you just remove the ERM, it will keep on recurring. You will remove it n number of times and it will recur n number of times. And the best corrected vision at this point of time was just counting fingers of 1. So we took the patient again for surgery. We removed the epiretinal membrane and then we trimmed it. You see the membrane was extending into the subretinal space. We trimmed the membrane. We applied 100% deep diathermy burns, sparing the major retinal vessels. And after this, with the diathermy itself, we tried to melt off the choroid as much as possible. Whatever was left was eaten up by the vitrectomy cutter. So post-operative, again, 20 days post-op, the patient's vision had improved to 6/24. His fovea was clear. And 2 months post-operative, again, the vision was 6/18. Though there was some intraretinal hemorrhages due to some BRVO, due to this chorioretinal excision, but it was not affecting the vision. So this is 1 year post-operative. Again, the patient is maintaining a vision of 6/18. This is the second case, 21 years male, perforating in eye on body. I call this mission impossible because it was a suprachoroidal intraocular on body. And you see there was a thick fibrous band extending from the vitreous into the retina and into the subretinal space. And foreign body was nowhere to be seen in the vitreous cavity or even seen embedded on the coats of the retina. Then you see this was, the fibrous incarceration was quite large. We did 100% deep diathermy burns again, covering whole of this wound site. And then Again, we removed the excised the choroid using the vitrectomy cutter. The choroid as well as the retina and the overlying fibrous tissue was excised. There was some bleeding happening, but it was easily controlled by using diathermy and by raising the bottle height. And you see, once we had excised the choroid, there the foreign body was just lying below the choroid. It was then again separated from here and was removed using a handshake technique. Was removed. It was lifted using active suction, was passed on to the foreign body claw forceps, and was removed through this additional sclerotomy that we had to make. After that, the patient underwent silicone oil injection, endolaser 360 degrees, and silicone oil injection. And this is 6 weeks post-op. The patient's vision is 6/12. Macula is healthy. This is another patient, a 32 years male, injury with a knife, and he had a retinal detachment with vitreous hemorrhage with incarceration. And you see, there was vitreous incarceration, a large amount of vitreous incarceration associated with the retinal detachment. In this patient, so we again started doing a diathermy around this incarceration site. So first we did a retinectomy in this patient, sparing the choroid here. We just did a retinectomy to free off the retina from this incarceration site. Because it was a huge incarceration, it was in the periphery of the retina, we decided not to remove whole of the choroid from here. What we did in this patient after doing the retinectomy was along the retinectomy edges, we just created a 1 millimeter zone of a choroidectomy. We just did a small strip of choroidectomy around this incarceration site, about 1 to 2 millimeters all around. And again, after that, the retina was settled, the laser was done, and silicone oil was used as a tamponade. And this is post-operative, 2 months post-operative. The patient's vision was 6/60, and 1 year post-operative. Silicone oil had been removed earlier, and the patient is maintaining a vision of 6/36 in this eye. This is a patient recently came to me 2 years post-operative, and he's still maintaining his vision. Some other cases, this was a large intraocular foreign body. It was removed, the chorioretinectomy was done, and you can see there's hardly any post-operative PVR. This was a patient of diabetic retinopathy who had an iatrogenic injury with the cautery tip during vitrectomy, and you can see after the first surgery with the silicone oil, there is a fibrous ingrowth, from the wound side. And when we did the SOR, we did a chorioretinectomy here, and the patient had a good recovery. Another patient, with the cow's horn injury, he had a total vitreous hemorrhage with anterior carceration and a posterior incarceration. This patient too, we did a chorioretinectomy at the incarceration site posteriorly, and the patient recovered a good vision of 6/18. Though this patient had a 1 recurrence, but we were able to ultimately recover good vision. Another patient of a double perforation with the post-operative vision of 6/9 and no recurrence. And there are some other non-traumatic applications of chorioretinectomy. This was a 36-year-old female, best corrected vision was 6/36. She was a known case of angiomatosis, exudative RD, and macular edema. She had undergone multiple sittings of laser and cryo for 2 years, and she had undergone multiple injections of intravitreal Ozurdex. And this was a patient, she had a large angioma in the periphery. And in this patient, we did You see, we did endodiathermy around this tumor site, and first of all, I thought it will only be a retinal hemangioma. I'll just take out the angioma. But when we tried to excise the angioma, it was very adherent to the underlying choroid. So we had to do a chorioretinectomy in this patient. See, you can easily see now we started doing removal excision of the angioma. You see, it is adherent to the choroid. So we planned a chorioretinectomy in this patient. So we were able to excise the whole of the tumor along with the retina and the choroid. And we did diathermy at the base of this tumor. And then we put a long-acting gas as a tamponade in this patient. We did a fluid. You just have to take care in these large excisions of choroid. You don't use excessive air pressure. It has to be very soft, or you can do a TFCL, silicone oil exchange. Otherwise, you can have serious complications like venous embolism due to air going into the veins. And this is 6 weeks post-operative with patient's vision had improved to 6.12. So take-home message is chorioretinectomy is a relatively new procedure. It may prevent exit site wound-related PVR and fibrous growth over the retina from the wound site, and it may be considered as a prophylactic or therapeutic option. Thank you.